Hello, it's a great honor to have the opportunity to this seminar video session. Let me start by saying just a few words about myself. My name is Yujin and my major is social welfare. I worked at Kosin University. My study subject of my presentation is a study on the improvement of the learning outcome of university students, focusing on majoring in social welfare. I'm using IM. Let's start. Social welfare education in South Korea has grown up along the especially for about 70 years. Since professional education of social welfare was produced, not like a Western country, we can find out especially of social welfare education in South Korea from fact that it has been early development with 4 years college-centered and curriculum was composed of profession education called social welfare, not educating the manpower who will input to the field. The quality of education problem rose due to a quantitative expansion of social workers who were not qualified as the limitation was mitigated so that course completion can acquire level 2 qualifications, or the great number of social workers were prevent as level 1 qualification as examination system were dropped. The efforts of reflection and self-examination have been spent to improve the quality of education in circle of social welfare education so far. While the discussion on improving the quality of education has been done, in most cases focusing on the identity of social welfare profession, the general improvement plan to secure professionalism and revision of curriculum, learning performance that can evolution. The quality of education has not been almost carried out other than practical subjects. So it should be considered if the model of the talent that is willing to be fostered in the social welfare education in embodied and improvement of core competition require basically for college student is applied together as the learning performance of the students who major in social welfare. As a social welfare has education curriculum to produce a social worker, it has the strong characteristics of practical student study based on the field. So the side of education should pay attention to professionalism that enables them to raise the competence required for practical side as well as theory concerned academicism to understand human. Normal learners are grown up to social worker when both competition of theories enter the academicism and professionalism require foresight and properly prepared. Regarding the competence required as the social worker. Social worker education mentions the cognition technology and interaction or relationship technology and a number of present researches problem solving ability, communications ability, or ability of make relations that is vocational basic skill as a competence of as such educational performance becomes the essential factor to embody the model of talented that is pursued by social welfare education. It is important to check if it is prepared by education, and it should be the place of opportunity for practical technology education, where primary social worker has to be fully qualified beyond graduating their college by checking with factor of education about unable to study to have such a competence. So this research is willing to search for the plan to contribute to improvement of students' learning effect, who major in social welfare by checking the factor that influence on their learning performance at 4 years college. The next, our data subject. In order to investigate the factor that influence on learning performance of college students or who major in social welfare, this study used the data of year 2015 among research data of searching for strategy to raise the quality of teaching and learning in college, written by KEDI, Korean Education and Development Institute. In the survey of 2015, total 776 students who answered they majored in social welfare were selected in this research. Measurement scale. The data used in this study was nation-level investigation tool that can analyze the characteristically and status of teaching and learning course of college students in South Korea. The learning performance that is dependent variable were composed of 3 factor. My dependent variable is learning performance. The 3 sub-factors that were major competence and professional knowledge and high level of thinking ability and communication and cooperation ability. The independent variable is dependent variable is composed of 5. The first one is participating in club and voluntary service activity. It's change. It is dependent variable. It's independent variable. Participating in club and voluntary service activity, cooperative learning activity, interaction with the profession, satisfaction in major education, learning support service of the college. Our data analysis is this research carry out frequency analysis and multiple regression analysis to find out the influence of learning performance, satisfaction in major education, interaction with professor, learning support service of college, participating in club and voluntary service activity, cooperation learning activity, and activity learning activity on performance, and The analysis was done with a species 21.0 program. Among the survey subjects, it appeared that female students were 68%, and 85.2% students belong to non-metropolitan college, and then 53.7% students belong to small to mid-scale colleges. And non-scheduled admission was 59.5%. Scheduled admission was 280%. It is our main result. Factors that influence on learning performances. As a result of checking multi-collinearity to search the factor that influence on learning performance of the students majoring in social welfare, all questionnaires were used as VIF. Values did not exceed 10, and amount of explanation showed 41.6%. Gender, type of admission, and current semester were meaningful statistically regarding personal factor. However, it means that learning performances of male students passed non-scheduled admission and upper grade were higher than female students. D1 passed scheduled admission and lower grade. It was indicated that the question of participating in voluntary service activity for local community as one of the passed with shown. Sorry. You can see participation in voluntary service activity for local community as one of classes was shown as meaningful statistically regard the variable participating in club and voluntary service activity. It means that they estimated their own learning performance high as much as they actively participated in club activity and voluntary service activity for local community as one of classes among the students majoring in social welfare in the college. Next, it appeared that the question of giving and talking support with students in the same classes for class assignment and searching for a solution against the matter and explain to others, it's also meaningful. So it also means that the students evaluation their learning performance higher than the one who don't so as much as they carry out the cooperation learning activity like searching for the solution against the problem by sharing the opinion with the class or our classes. The next, class object and learning contest is not meaningful. Learning experience also or variable were not meaningful. Also, learning evaluation and feedback were not meaningful. Next, it appeared that the question of discuss career course with professor and communicate with professors of a matter other than class or career course is meaningful. Meaning is regarding the factor of college. It means that they recognize that their learning performance were higher than the other who did not so as much as they met and discussed with the professor about the class or matters other than career and use mentoring service for getting along with college life. Let me brief conclude and suggest the first. It is very important to find our students' own level correctly regarding non-cognitive achievement in case of students already see. So, non-cognitive achievement very important to find our students. So achievement. So professors should also use them for revision for curriculum and correction of roadmap for guiding the career by recognizing the competence required for students, college student majoring in social welfare and degree of achieving learning. The level of learning performance was measured highest much as students actively participating in both activities in club and voluntary service for local community. However, it was identical to the results from a number of precedent researches that said voluntary service activity as one of classes influence on the improve of learning performance of the college students majoring in social welfare. The researches that insist the concept of voluntary learning that improve learning competence of college students by linking curriculum to voluntary service activity and fosters social responsibility said that affluence and innovative voluntary learning should be applied to curriculum as a curriculum that connect the theory and practice effectively is required. The second, it is also good to recommend to encourage them to participate and carry out the activities aggressively in the club that can be opened in the Department of Social Welfare. The correct feedback is required from the experts regarding field practice so the efficient education effort can be achieved through the experience prevent the learning in actual social welfare sites such as field practice and voluntary service activity to go forward. For that, it is very important to connect it to local community. However, it is considered that the program that breaks existing stereotype frame is required so synergy effect be expected by integrating the resource of college to that of local community. Furthermore, it is needed to measure the effectiveness of voluntary service activity performed as the one classes through regret of participants, discussion, in-depth interview with feedback and content analysis together with self-reporting evaluation after voluntary service activity. As learning performance was higher as much as the cooperative activity were carried out, such as sharing the opinion with other activity in or out of class and searching for the solution against the matter, it is needed to adjust the curriculum and methods so the students can be performed the cooperative learning activity. The in-depth discussion between the department and professors is required regarding the education plan that can improve problem solving capability and cooperative and active learning activity ability of college students measuring social welfare by using, for example, PBL, action learning, flipped learning, that were used as the frequent and recent teaching method. Finally, full effort should be spent to produce the human and competent primary social worker by executing the interview on various themes such as study in major, career after graduation, adaptation to college life and friendship. This research is meaningful to analyze to the learning performance of the students majoring in social welfare by using the universal data. But it is needed to develop the tools that can measure the competence and learning performance of the majoring students in further study, and the complex research that can obtain general research results by performing qualitative study together is needed to carry out. It's done. Thank you for listening. If you have any question, please send the email. Thank you.